we were saying how very important it is to bring about in the human mind the radical revolution. The crisis is a crisis in consciousness, a crisis that cannot anymore accept the old norms, the old patterns, the ancient traditions. And considering what the world is now, with all their misery, conflict, destructive brutality, aggression, and so on, man is still as he was. He's still brutal, violent, aggressive, acquisitive, competitive, and he has built a society along these lines.
They could get more evidence. It doesn't matter. They have them cold. I hope that they act. I hope that Lindsey Graham does something with the Judiciary Committee. We have all the evidence they need. Now, maybe they're getting new stuff. I let them handle that. But the Judiciary Committee should act. And
I would say this.
You know, like people don't like to say it's President Obama. He knew everything. He was probably in charge of it or was in charge of it. Joe Biden, I don't know if he knows where he is, but he was there. He knew everything.
Well, he lied. Joe Biden lied to George Stephanopoulos when he said, I know nothing. But, the notes from Peter Strzok were clear about the January 5th meeting. Now, the case against Flynn was to be dropped on January the 4th. Strzok and Comey brought it back to light. But in that meeting in the Oval Office, we know that it was Biden that said, what about bringing up the Logan Act from 1799. We know that Obama was saying maybe we shouldn't tell the incoming administration. Obama said we want our guys on this.
Last night, the White House was illuminated in green light, causing Anons to get busy digging for clues. Good is green. Carly Q. POTUS on Hannity. Nice green lighting on the White House. Obama and Biden spied. Hashtag Obamagate. Hashtag the more you know. Q post 4384 from 1st of June 2020. Roger Ball has been called. Good and green. Q. When green castle is entered into the QAnon search, you come up with Q post 1433, so I'll just put 1433 in here, and you can see military op, green, General K, in the brackets, JFK, full disclosure. Q refers to the White House as the castle, therefore green castle could be the White House illuminated with green. As pointed out, Q drop number 1433 adds up to 11. Could it be that the 11th of July is a significant date? This week, after all, is week 10 of the Q countdown clock. Wait, there's more. Vincent Kennedy's Twitter banner changed today to a plain green color. Vincent Kennedy's Twitter account is often attributed to JFK Jr. He possibly has several Twitter accounts. Investigative reporter John Solomon says that indictments are imminent in John Durham's criminal investigation of the Obama administration. Check out this tweet by Lisa Mia Crawley. At John Solomon reports, My sources tell me there's a lot of activity. I'm seeing personally activity behind the scenes of the Justice Department. I would look for a time around Labor Day to see the first sort of action by the Justice Department. And Bruno Barking has uncovered a Q-drop that seems to confirm Solomon's information. Let's take a look here. Labor Day, aka birthday, at Kanye West and a birthday party. Time from November 8th, 2016 election to September 7th, 2020. Labor Day equals exactly 46 months. POTUS 45 plus 1. John Solomon telling at Sean Hannity radio show that the criminal charges will be filed by Durham sometime before or after Labor Day. Oh great, the Democrats and the media pals will have a ball with that. Do it now. You elected us to do the heavy lifting. Enjoy the show. Birth of a new nation, new world, Q. I like to say a new world without all the order. As Bruno Barking says in his tweet, what do heavy lifting and birth have in common? Labor. It's Labor Day on 7th September this year. If you were wondering about Kanye West's sudden appearance in the presidential election race, check this tweet out right here. Kanye has always been a Trump supporter. I believe the Anons are right. Kanye has entered the race to take votes away from the Democrats, knowing that he could never beat President Trump. What are the President Trump's odds of being reelected in November? The primary model gives Trump a 91% chance of winning in November. Northpath said the model gets it right for 25 of the 27 elections since 1912, when primaries were introduced. Well, folks, that's good enough for me. Hillary has been loading up on Botox lately, so she could be preparing to kick out Biden and take on President Trump. Forget about it. Gitmo is going to be her new residence, not the White House. Speaking of the Clintons, here is some black humor to end on. I love James Woods. Add him to the list of Hollywood Alliance / Trump supporters. We definitely take the time to call out all the Hollywood that are against and part of the problem. So we definitely want to take the time to point out the few when they flip or they're not part of it. You have people like Rose McGowan calling out Kanye West. Yes, you can point to their past, but we don't do that. We're going to call people out for what they're doing now. And if they're in support of, and if they've come full circle, then we must welcome them with open arms and support them and call out the good for what it is. If Hollywood has that kind of pull to help make the world a shittier place by using all these people, and then if these people revert, they could probably help make the world a little bit better of a place. Basically, help undo the damage that they caused. Use their voice to help wake people up. We're going to close this out with Kanye West with Joel Osteen speaking at Lakewood Church in Houston back in November of 19. Let's take a listen to this few minutes. Again, I'm Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you. And where we go one, we go all.
Just some thoughts maybe we've all seen, something happened in the last year or so, not where you were back then. Maybe you can just speak a little bit to the transition and, how are you here today at Lakewood?
Well, I know that God's been calling me for a long time, and the devil's been distracting me for a long time. And when I was, in my lowest points, God was there with me and sending me visions and inspiring me. And I remember sitting in the hospital at UCLA after having a mental breakdown, and there's documentations of me drawing a church and writing start a church in the middle of Calabasas. And even after that, I went and made the Life of Pablo album. I said, this is a gospel album. And I didn't know how to totally make a gospel album. And the Christians that were around were too, I would say, beaten into submission by society and not speak up and profess the gospel to me, because I was a superstar. So, but the only superstar is Jesus. So as I sat there saying, I'm going to make a gospel album, there were Christians that were there that were not, excuse me, brother, I go into these streams of consciousness when I'm talking, and when you're speaking in the middle of it, it distracts me. I really appreciate the support, but I would like for everybody to be completely silent so I can let God flow through me as I speak to you guys today. So in the studio, and this studio is going to compare to places that you're in life where people tell you to quiet your voice and not talk about Jesus, so loud, but everything else is so loud around us. When I'm in California or when I'm in Vegas, they got posters up advertising, sex trafficking. Because if there's an advertisement for a strip club, that is advertising sex trafficking, because at the end of the night, when they close up, the manager says, how much traffic do we have? So if it's a man that's going through things with his family or going through things at work and he feels he has to go there, we all end up participating, whether it's the spirits that get advertised to us all the time. Alcohol they call it a spirit. So we get constant advertisement for spirits. We get constant advertisement for strip clubs and other things like that. But then we bring up the name of Jesus, we're told to be quiet that down. So even for someone who's professing God and saying, this is going to be a gospel album, the devil's going to come and do everything he can to distract people from knowing how to fully be in service to the Lord. And all of that arrogance and confidence and cockiness that y'all seen me use before, God is now using for him. Because every time I stand up, I feel that I'm standing up and drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm here in service to God, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
So good, Kanye. Kanye, maybe one of the most powerful, I've heard a lot of your interviews, but maybe, can you speak into, you said you used to worship the God of fame and the God of some of those things, and that didn't fulfill you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, because it's presented to us on TV. There's a rumor I heard where someone has sat down with Sammy Davis Jr. And this is no, knock to his family, but I want to use a specific name that we know of because it's a celebrity name. We have these icons we're using. And he leaned in and said, Satan is as powerful as God. And that is the mentality that people have a lot of times when they're in service to fame, money, manpower. You start to feel like Satan is the most powerful. And you start to feel like if you service God, that in life, it means you will not prosper. And the only way to prosper is in service to fame. And it's like the devil stole all the good producers, The devil stole all the good musicians, all the good artists, all the good designers, all the good business people, and said, you gotta come over and work for me. And now the trend, the shift is going to change. Jesus has won the victory.